Hey, Julie here with Just Plain Fun, and today I'm going to show you how to make this block. It is called the 2123 Mosaic number 16 Connecticut. I know it's a long name, but I'll explain that in just a few seconds. And also I'll show you what this is all about. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so before we actually get started, I thought I'd show you where I am at in the 30 blocks. Don't pay attention to the order, don't pay attention to the sashing or the cornerstones or the binding. That'll come later. I'm planning on doing the cornerstones with the leftovers from all the fabrics that I've been using in this quilt. With this block, I'm introducing another fabric because I didn't have enough of the yellow that I actually wanted to use that I've used in previous blocks. So since there are only 5 blocks left, I'll use more of this. And I have not decided what order I'm going to put the blocks. That's why I'm calling it Mystery Quilt. 2 reasons. Don't know what the next block is going to be, and also don't know what order I'm going to put them in once I have them all made. So just thought I'd let you know where we're at. This is the one that we're doing today, and this is it. And don't pay attention to this color. I didn't have enough of this fabric to have this section be dark blue, which was my original plan, but that's not what direction I decided to go in. Alright, so as you can see, this one's called 2123 Mosaic number 16 Connecticut. I did not name this block. I did not design this block. This block is in the public domain. The name comes from Barbara, oh, I'm going to mess up her name, from the Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Patterns book. Barbara Brackman. There we go. And also, I also used Accuquilt 8. And so this was called Mosaic number 16 from Accuquilt 8, actually in the book. It wasn't in Accuquilt 8 until I put it, got the block from the book, and I downloaded the software and was able to get this. So I'm not affiliated with EQ8. This is just what I use to design my quilts, and I just wanted the book because I don't know the names of the blocks that I'm coming up with, and some of them are not my own, and I know that. So I want to make sure I get names. There's also another name if you have it, but the block number is 2123 in case you want to follow along in that book. And also, I am an affiliate with Accuquilt, and so if you click on any of my links on my website and decide to order something, I'll probably get a small commission for that sale, and it won't cost you anything else. And they're running good sales, and not sure exactly why, but they're incredible sales. That's why I went ahead and started buying Accuquilt dies. This block was made with the Qube 10-inch block, and all of the pieces came from that. And as you can see, that's what the numbers are. This is die number 6, 5, 4. Those are the 3 dies I used from number 10, the 10-inch Qube. All of the Qube systems that make blocks, the 4-inch, the 6-inch, the 8-inch, the 9-inch, the 10-inch, and the 12-inch, all have the same pieces, the same shapes. They're just different sizes. And I used all of them from the 10-inch Qube. So let's get started. Okay, the way I'm going to assemble this square is, or block, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm a crocheter too. Okay. The way I'm going to assemble it is I'm going to do quilt as you piece for the center, either this center or this center. I haven't decided which. See, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with layering the center piece, the center square. I will layer that and do a little bit of straight line quilting like I have been all along. You can do whatever quilting you want. And then I'll be adding these, and then I'll be adding these, and then I'll be adding these in the quilt as you piece method purely. And then this one here, this piece of batting is all one piece of batting, and all the sizes are in the pattern. It's not a free pattern. but it is 20,000 points, and a little bit later in this video will be a secret code you can use to get 20,000 points. So you can download this for 20,000 points, basically free. All right, and so this will be traditional piecing, and this will be traditional piecing, and then I'll do the rest of it for the final assembly in Quilt As You Piece. All right, so the rest of this, you're probably not going to hear me speak. I don't know. We'll see how this video goes. So let me get started. Center is done, quilted, and ready for the next step, which is going to be adding all 4 of these. Now, if you haven't been following along, I'll show you what I've been doing. I use glue stick, which is washable, and I use Elmer's school glue, which is also washable. And I use the, I did mark this with one of those heat erasing pens. It works for me. When you wash it out, you don't even get a shadow. And it works really, really well. So that's, you know, I actually use those. So basically what I do is this piece here will be attached here on the front. This piece will be attached to the back. And then this piece gets zigzagged here. And because these pieces are exactly the same size, I also add a piece of that basting tape right here on the edge. I glue it on before I do the stitching, and because I only have a small roll of it, I'm just going to use a piece here just to hold it in place, because I really don't need it for the whole thing. I need it for where I start. With the last block I did, I used a piece of tape for the whole length of it, and it was totally unnecessary, and I need to save what I have because I only have a small roll of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that part together, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. All right, so what I'm doing so far is I've already stitched this piece on to the front and back, and then I ironed on this tape here. And this tape comes in this roll, and it is called heat press batting together, and this one happens to be 1.5 inches, but I also have this, which is 3/4 of an inch. So this is really all that's needed for what I do. And my next step here is I'm going to be running a zigzag stitch here, and I shouldn't have any problems with this shifting, because what would happen before I put the piece of tape there is the sewing machine would pull this back, or actually it would push it forward, and by securing it here with the piece of tape first, that should not happen. And the stitch width that I use on the zigzag is 4.0, 6.0, and the length is 4.0, and I use 2.4 stitch length on the stitching with an actual 1/4 inch seam allowance because I used Accuquilt. But you can do a scant 1/4 inch on your normal piecing if you want. And normally I would do a 3.0. I just didn't change it this time. And this was also 2.4. You can do anything between 2.4 and 3.0 for your normal stitching, because you are going through batting. All right, I'll be right back. So I've stitched it, and you can't really see the zigzagging. Well, you can there a little bit. But anyway, the piece of tape is here, that basting tape, and the next step that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be folding this up and ironing it down using that glue stick. I'm going to put glue stick here and iron it down here, and do the same thing on this side. And when you do use the glue, sometimes the glue gets out of the seam allowance, so you just want to tug on it just a little bit just to release that glue. And then you're going to do this again, and I'm going to do that to all 4 sides and trim it up. And I'm going to be putting some quilting lines here. When it comes to doing the quilting for here, because we're doing traditional piecing on this, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing for quilting on it, because all these are going to be quilted along the seam line. So I'll probably just do quilting this way, straight line, maybe 2 or 3. We'll see. I'll know when I get there. Like I said, mystery quilt. All right, so I just thought I'd show that. It worked really, really well. It kept everything in place, and I prefer doing the zigzag because it stays. It works. And the tape is just a reinforcement to keep it from shifting. That's all it's for. And you don't need a big piece. That's about 1 inch. And I don't have a ruler. Super handy. Wait a second. Here we go. All right, let's see. I didn't even measure it. Okay, so it's an inch, almost an inch and a half. But an inch to an inch, it's kind of expensive stuff, so that's why I decided just to cut off pieces and put it on there to save money. Because I have to order everything that I use, because my nearest shopping center is 50 miles away. Seriously, 50 miles away, my nearest Walmart. So anyway, and my nearest quilt shop is 50 miles away. All right, so I'll be right back, and I will get all this done. And I'll be right back. All right, so that one's done. The next one I'm going to do is this one across from it. And then the rest of the video, you're just going to see the steps. Okay, and now on to the next. This one and this one. I'll be right back. Okay, the center is done, and now it's time to trim this batting up so that this is the correct size, and then I'll be piecing these as you normally would. Probably the way I'll start is I'll start with these center pieces and, you know, put them together like this and stitch them going from the inside out. All right, so the next time, in just a few seconds, you'll see all of these strips just basically stitched together. All right. All right, so they're stitched, and the next step is to attach them to here. But first things first, I want to show you that when you press them, you press the half square triangles out toward the dark, or to the outer triangle, and then when you do these, you press these out to the outer triangle. But then when you put the squares to the flying geese, you're going to want to open, press open your seams just to reduce, to make it flatter, basically. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to attach this to this. And this goes on the back side. On the back side here. And then this goes to this. It gets flipped up. And this side will be on the back side. So basically what you're doing is you're treating this as one piece of fabric and this as one piece of fabric, and you're going to be putting this on with your zigzag stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that and be right back. All right, the block is all done, all trimmed, and it is a little off here, but it's not so far off that I won't be able to compensate for the sashing that's going to be going on it. And here is the back side. And you know, it's also off a little bit here too. I think it's because of all the quilting and the fact that I followed the instructions with Accuquilt and did the exact 1/4 inch seam allowance. Maybe with this method, we should be doing scant 1/4 inch seam allowances for this method. Okay, so that's that. I want to thank you for watching, and keep watching for the next one. There's 5 more blocks to go, and I've got an idea of what I'm going to be doing next, but I want to plan it out first. So, and go ahead and register at the website at jpfun.com. Claim the 20,000 points for watching this video, and go ahead and redeem those points and download this pattern. All right, and you can watch for a book that I plan on putting together of all these blocks and the techniques on how to do quilt as you piece. You can probably watch for it in July or August. I'll get to it. There'll be a lot more information about this method in the book, and the order at which I put them in the quilt will also be the order. It won't be this order. It'll be whatever order I decide to do. I mean, I might end up putting this here or here. I have no idea. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. And until next time, thank you for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.